There we go. It's fine. Some of us will be sat down here.
The corner of your face.
Yeah. I'm sitting in the centre, Jem.
No, I'm to the side. I'm sitting in the center.
But yes, we are on there.
I knew you freaking stop.
I apologize.
Our monster, can they hear us?
Yes, they can.
The monster is in the corner, just ignore him.
Yes, we are definitely running.
Okay. So I'm used to seeing a line that tells me what the sound is.
That's because it says.
Shut up!
It's
I mean, we're only actually over 18, hopefully, so it's fine. It's true, you didn't.
Okay.
Couldn't sit in the cat and start using lots of
So
expletives.
you've got your list of things to do? We'll just get on with it.
Yes.
Or we
Where's
just...
Tom? Tom!
Come along, Jump Jump!
Hi.
Jump Jump!
The word you're looking for is professional.
Dear Lord. You're putting so much confidence into these people. I don't know what could go wrong.
It's just Katrina and Rebecca. They know.
Hi, Rebecca.
They know what we're like.
Do they?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yes.
Tom.
The hired help is awful.
Tom!
Yeah.
Come here.
What?
Let's just start.
In 2 minutes.
Get in.
Why do I have to sit in the middle?
Because you're the rules guy.
Why am I the rules guy?
Because you made yourself the rules guy.
Technically, I'm making the rules guy.
Didn't I quit?
Yeah, several times.
But yes, we should get started then.
Yes.
I got the list. I'm getting it. I'm prepared. Right, so our first thing of action is greetings. Hi, guys. It's the staff. Gemma, pay attention.
I can't help it, the monster's distracting me.
Hi, guys. It's your crew for the Calling LARP later this year. It's Sammy, Tom, Gemma, and me, Poppy. You may have seen us at the last event. Both of you two who are here currently are from the last event, so you know who we are. But yes, we're all very excited
Good job.
for this.
Yes,
Greetings.
we totally got this. There's nothing we are worried about.
Got this. No one's worried about anything.
Not a thing. Yeah, it's fine. It's our first LARP, so I think we're all just,
Running.
Yeah.
We think we got it so far, so yeah. For our first time.
We got the venue and everything. That's the biggest part.
Yes, I do like having a venue at a LARP. That is kind of a little bit important. Just a little bit.
Right, and a probably brief rundown of the kind of areas that we're all working on for the lab is probably in order, so that if anyone has any specific questions or anything, they know who to call and talk to. So, Sammy is on plot department with myself, and we've got Tom, who is the rules guy, and
Thought I was hiring orange juice.
no,
Are you sure?
you're doing rules.
That sounds like work.
That's what you signed your thumb up for.
He's doing rules. Forget it.
Rule master. Is there anything else that you're doing on what to bring to the table, Tom?
I'm doing that. Aside from rules. Do nothing while you got down to a C.
And then we have Gemma, who's supposed to be in charge of all of us.
The truth is I just write the emails.
Yep.
They're getting lag again.
Everyone's getting a lot of love.
Okay.
That happens a lot.
Happen, unfortunately. Hopefully you can hear us okay. The video isn't too important, but
No,
hopefully
we're
you can hear
literally
it.
just sitting here.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding.
It will go as fast as it can do, but hopefully nothing's getting lost in translation.
Literally.
Yes.
But isn't this also technically, hopefully, fingers crossed, being recorded?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
it's
we
really
can
cool.
put it back up and stuff.
So if you miss anything because you're refreshing or what have you, it should hopefully be on the recording. Yeah.
Yes, I did used to go. I was Brady, Becca. I used to be a Brian named Brady who went to Empire. But for now, I'm the person you'll get emails from quite a lot, hopefully, if I'm doing my job right. So if you got any emails, it will usually go to me first. So, yay. I will try and help best I can. Yes, you did.
Were we having a discussion about it earlier?
I said that Becca was a great laugher. Yes. I hate you.
Trying
See, they're the paranoid
Poppy,
setting.
Poppy does plot and keeps me from going crazy.
Yes. And we all have our own hands in making things look beautiful for
Yeah.
the day.
We're all doing. Hi, Rob.
Hey, Rob.
Yes, you are the Brian. Yes, I do remember you. Oh, don't worry about it. I rent any time. That's literally why I'm here.
You might want to be specific which comments you're replying to because it's stream delays.
Well, Rob sucks and Becca's the best. So that's about the general consensus so far. I mean, there's lots of Beccas, so all you Beccas can take that.
It's Rebecca and Becca.
Okay. But yeah, so we're saying we'll all be making stuff and we'll all be doing costume and we'll all be doing our best to make it look cool and big and stuff.
Very.
We've also got Amy, who isn't here today, but she is around online, and you've probably seen her answer some things as well. And Wes is about doing.
Wes is about.
Wes does our Instagram, and Amy is in charge of all the props and stuff. So make sure we get all the props and stuff because we'll forget without her.
So many Beccas.
That's now Bex. So
Okay.
Bex and Becca.
we'll go with that. We'll take that.
Right, okay. I think it's probably best for us to start out. Where are we at the moment, Gemma, with everything?
There's a long list.
What have we done so far?
So far, we've gotten the site organised. We're working through the rules. That's basically the next thing. We're definitely trying to solidify all the rules, so then we can get you character creation stuff. I've finally finished the form. You all have to write in. Because those are exciting. Insurance is exciting. We all love having insurance, so...
But you guys are insured.
Yeah, you're covered.
So, if you die, it'll be okay.
Thanks.
If you die, it'll be
Okay.
If you die, it's a box about this big.
That's true, actually. So we've got that. So the form should be along to you guys this week, hopefully. We've got the rewards underway, I think.
Yes, the rewards are underway and things will be being sent out as and when they are done. As the majority of you will have bought tickets, otherwise I don't know why you're in this stream unless you're just morbidly curious.
There could be a waiting list.
They could be. But if you bought tickets through the Indiegogo, then you have to wait until the last thing on there, which I think is the lyrium boxes or something, needs to be finished before I can send it all out to you, because we'll just send everything out instead of bit by bit. But yeah, we'll be doing those in waves shortly. They don't need to see my face, it's fine.
There we go. That's how I make you lean. If you like leaning.
But yes.
Okay, and we're doing props and costumes as we go. The current prop is very, very fun. I like the current one. But I can't tell them the current one because that's a secret.
Okay.
But it's fun.
Lots of fun secret props.
Going to kill them all.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And on the plot department, we've figured out some of the bare bones of stuff.
More or less.
But yeah.
We need to start talking between the roles and the plot department.
Yeah, well, we're kind of waiting for you to have some form of character creation stuff for us.
Fuck. We'll get there.
We're working on it. We are all working on it together.
I've got to add
so-
numbers to things, basically.
Yeah. Right. So a brief introduction to the plot.
Okay, and character. I love this bit. Do I get
Yeah.
to say this bit? Can I say a bit? No, not the plot. Just the bit I want to say.
Well, we've got to say the plot bit first. Okay. So it's Dragon Age Origins. I'm sure most of you are fans of the game and are aware of the opening to the game. The Blight has struck Ferelden and is slowly starting to make its way up from the Kokari Wilds in the deep south. And the king has fallen at Ostagar. And now the Darkspawn are marching up through Ferelden and towards the small town of Lothering, which has been left for dead, more or less. And you, as players, will all be staying in Lothering as refugees, trying to make your way in the world and survive.
Until help arrives.
Until help arrives. Because help will hopefully arrive. Yes. Now then, so because of this, you guys are all going to be playing refugees. So you have to come up with characters who are refugees.
Or 10
Gemma?
people.
I'm only going to say this once. If people haven't watched this, that's tough. I've got to say, please, 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 no canon characters. No, nothing related to canon characters. You cannot be the hero of Ferelden.
No, they're gone.
You cannot be a Grey Warden off the bat. I'm afraid a lot of you will be peasant folk, because that's refugees. You can have something special, of course. Everyone has their ticks here and there. But please, nothing to do with the main story. You're not related to the Warden. You've never met the Warden. You might have met the Warden if they walked through, but that's... You don't know they're the Warden. No great ancestors of frickin' Sten, because he's only just left. And if anyone, please do not turn up in Morrigan's gear or Alice's gear, I beg of you. Because I will ask you very politely, with a sword, to reroll.
Okay, thank you very much. Basically, yes, you guys are going to be playing refugees who have all found themselves trapped at Lothering for the foreseeable future. You're all going to be basically starting out as level 1s, which means that if you imagine making a character in the game, you've got to imagine that, like, you only have level 1 experience in a lot of things. You can't be like a knight captain from Orlais who's been fighting in wars his entire life, kind of thing.
I mean, you can, but you have to be a very incompetent one.
Yes, a very incompetent one, because everyone's going to be kind of the same level starting out, and then you will earn experience through the course of the weekend and learn and develop as people. You don't want to start off with the greatest character in the world. You can develop.
Into the West.
We don't want the greatest characters anyway. The greatest characters wouldn't still be here. They'll
Yeah.
be gone. They're
Yeah.
like,
They'll have all left. Yes, other than that, character creation is going to very much be like, imagine writing a character bio rather than filling out a page worth of stats. So
There will still be stats.
yeah, there will be,
won't be
but
as
we
important, yeah.
don't know all of the ins and outs of that yet, so we can't tell you that yet. But for now, you guys can think about, like, ideas of what kind of person you want your character to be, like, personality and backstory wise, just so long as, like, no plot shattering Mary Sue backstory stuff. But if you guys have any questions, you're more than welcome to drop any of us a message with any of the ideas that you have for characters that you think you want to play and stuff like that, and we can always talk about it. And if you guys have some interesting plot things, we can always talk to you about that as well. Yeah.
And honestly, there's no judgment if you don't know. Like, if you're like, I don't know, like, just
We
chat
can help.
around and talk with friends and people on
Yeah.
Dragon Age on the Facebook. Just be like, what you guys think? Like, you don't have to take everything everyone says, but it can help.
And on top of that as well, if you guys have certain ideas of stuff that you want to play, you can talk to people on the group, and I don't know, find other people that maybe your character has had something to do with or whatever.
Yeah,
And you can come in groups and stuff like that.
Abandoned refugees.
And if you have absolutely no idea what to do, you can always go on the group and be like, I don't know what to do. Does anyone want someone to hang out with them at the event?
Does anybody want a little puppy?
and be like their friend or something like that? Or you can always come to us and go, I don't know what to do, help, and we'll try and give you like a character or something like that.
There you go.
Simple answer.
The stabbing doesn't happen until the event, Tom, and that's not your job. It's the monster cruise.
Don't wave at me, monster. Don't make the player hit again.
Yes. Next up, let's give them a little introduction to the venue.
It's spooky.
It's spooky.
It's a forest.
Do you want to put a link up in the chat?
There's a link.
They've seen the website at this point, so they've seen the venue that we
Okay.
There's quite a few of you.
We'll take questions at the end, so don't worry.
Yeah, as Bobby does, we'll take questions at the end. I just, that's a lot of text for me to read and speak at the same time. I'm very sorry. Huntley Wood has been used by a lot of things, such as the Veil and Mistwood have used it, and a lot of Sanctuary events have used it. So you may have already gone there if you've looked before. It's got cabins that connect straight onto like a small bit of forest, which then leads on to a whole lot of land, which is covered in forest and open area, and it's nuts. And a giant lake, but we're not going anywhere near the lake. It is a quicksand for a start, so we're going nowhere near the lake. But it's got cabins which are heated, which will be in character, so you'll be able to go in there, you'll be able to chat, and you'll be able to have fun in there. If you're feeling a little bit off, there will be a campfire to catch some atmosphere, and hopefully lots of things for you to find out in the forest.
Yeah, we will be dressing it up to very much look like a refugee camp. So there will be like tents and stuff out, and there'll be loads of little areas where people have kind of set up little like camp areas that you can go and like swing into and talk to and stuff like that. It's going to be a very kind of lived-in environment as opposed to like bleak,
Thanks
empty
for living
lands.
history kind of thing, where
Yeah.
you just like you walk around and everything's supposed to be bustling.
The venue, which is Huntley Wood in what's the nearest place to it again?
Derby.
Lethbridge.
Lethbridge.
Stoke.
But it's Stoke-on-Trent. Stoke-on-Trent, which is just on the other side of the
Lethbridge.
Peak District to Sheffield and all that. And it's got easy to reach train links to Blythe Bridge.
Yep.
And you can either ask very nicely for any of the other members to give you a lift over to there, or you can get a taxi over to the
The site.
venue.
Yeah, it's only like barely a 10-minute taxi ride. It's not, and if you all go to, like in a group and get a taxi, it'll be really cheap. It's not a lot.
I don't recommend walking, especially when you've got all that kit. So.
It'll take longer than 10 minutes.
Yeah. How accommodation is going to work, Gemma? How is accommodation?
How is accommodation working? Right, what we're doing is we've hired, was it 5 meals?
It was fine.
It was 5 meals. We are getting 5 meter bell tents from the actual site, so we're having those put up for you. And we're having, it'll be shared accommodation if you don't bring your own tent, which you're welcome to. That's like, not charge you or anything. Bring your own tent if you want to have your own sleeping quarters. But if you'd like to use one of the tents already on the site, you'll be sharing. There'll be 4 people per tent. You can come as a group of 4 and go in the tent. That is fine. Just let me know, and that's also all on the form. All of that information. You do get to pick whether, if say you're going on your own, you'll be put in a group with 3 other people. You can tell me if you'd rather it just be girls or just boys or whatever you need.
If you imagine how the accommodation worked for the convention last year, where we put up a form that basically said which accommodation you prefer and whether you had anyone that you wanted to share with in particular. There were a few groups that we had last year that were like, oh, I definitely want to be with just these people. Imagine it like that, but with tents. But all of the tents are the same and will have the same capacity, so you don't really get to choose which tent you want.
Yeah, they are all the same. There's no special tent.
No.
There is a small amount of cabin space, which is the heated cabins. However, that is going, as it will say on the form, that is mostly for those with medical needs and those that really require an indoor space. So it's very limited space, but we'll try and cater if people are desperate. If you don't, otherwise it'll just be the tents. The tents are warm, especially when there's 4 people in there, I promise. But please, make sure you bring all of your winter camping gear.
Yeah.
Sleeping bags, roll mat.
Yeah. We're gonna have
Many blankets.
we're going to have a stream at some point which kind of goes into the full length and depth of like camping tips and tricks and stuff like that, and like giving you advice with all that. The venue has a kitchen, so you can cook. It has a stove, it has a microwave, it has a kettle, you can bring tea, it has fridges.
Yeah, the kitchen area will always be OC, etc. But sometime, please let us know when you want to use the kitchen, because it will also be used for monster space. So we don't want to spoil it for you. So if we have a main monster,
I don't want to find anybody's dropped dead like just because they've walked in. There's just a bunch of monsters just
Turns around on them.
There's no OC space.
No fighting in the kitchen.
Unless someone's trying to eat your dinner.
That's how it all goes at that point. But basically, so saying as the kitchen space is usable, and we do have a fridge as well, in case of like milk, medication, or whatever you need it for, really, and that's fine. But please just let us know.
That's actually a very good point that's being made there. Footwear. If you bring good boots, you will not hate yourself by the end of the weekend.
Yeah.
Boots is one of probably the most important pieces of kit. If your feet are the thing that will be carrying you around the place, your feet are one of the most important things to look after.
Yeah.
Socks, boots, and make sure they're comfortable. If you show up in like 6-inch heeled boots, you're gonna hate yourself by the end of the weekend, and you're gonna be run down by monsters.
Yeah. We're going to have, along with the camping one, we're also going to have a costume stream where we talk about like the ideal kind of stuff to wear. There'll be lots of layers. It's not like doing cosplay where you're like, I want to have a set kind of outfit. It's more kind of like, let's put as much clothing on as possible kind of thing.
It actually makes it look better.
Yeah.
It's more realistic
Unless
because
you're a Scotsman.
it is more realistic though, because let's face it, in that sort of time and stuff, you would be layering it up.
Yeah.
Especially in the middle of winter.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
On the subject of winter, we've had a few concerns about weather. We're going to put it to rest now. The weather is not going to be a problem. You're not going in the middle of January. November isn't the coldest month of the year.
And there will be fire.
There will be fire. There is a heated
indoor space. Heated bathroom.
If it's absolutely chucking it down, there is an indoor space.
There is
You're
also
not going to be
hot showers.
Yeah, there is hot showers. The bathrooms have heating and are dry, and
just think of it as like immersion for where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And then if it gets too much, you'll just go, oh, I'm gonna go stand in the bathroom for a bit.
Yeah.
I believe it might be worth mentioning Huntley was this year voted it's the site with the best bathroom facilities.
Yeah.
Best bathroom.
They won an award.
Yeah. And as 3 of us at least were at Huntley Wood at the exact weekend that we're running last year.
And we'll be there the week after.
And we'll be there the week after in the coming year. So we know that it's going to be okay. You're going to be okay in November. We wouldn't put you through it if, like, we thought that there was a high risk of hypothermia and stuff like that. That's not going to happen. You'll be fine.
Just as long as you wear clothes.
Yeah, and that's why we're going to talk about the costume and stuff as well, so that you guys have as much preparation as possible, so that you're not completely freezing over the weekend, because you shouldn't be.
One layer is never enough. Where anyone says.
Yeah, so giveaway announcements.
We don't have anything for you, know that, right?
We don't. We haven't chosen the winner yet. I will have a quick look through what you guys talk about.
Dance for the camera.
We could take some questions now while
Yeah.
Poppy
Yeah, we'll do
is
the questions
sorting
now.
the
Let's do questions
admin
now.
out.
That'll do.
Does anyone have questions for the stream?
Becca
I
had
know
one.
Becca had one.
There's one there. There's
Where
one
was
from
it?
earlier. Yeah.
With regards to no canon
Oh, this is a
connection
Poppy
rule,
question.
my
I have
current
no
plan
idea.
is to play an elf from the Denerim alienage, which would imply that she'll have at least met with Tavros in passing. What would be the problem if I don't have? Would it be a problem if I didn't have a connection to be a vital element of a backstory, or should I be from Hayeva or Amarin?
I think it's if your connection to the main canon character is I wouldn't sat in the same pub as them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's probably fine as long as it's not like I'm their long lost mother of unrequited.
Or like he's actually like my cousin.
Yeah, the idea with the warden is they're very much going to be just the warden. They're not going to be
Also
a
not important,
specific one. They're not going to be well known. They're literally just going to be like a figure at this point.
These
We
people came in and they caused a little bit of a ruckus, but we don't really care because we're busy.
The important thing is to remember the warden hasn't actually done anything important canonically yet. As far as we're aware, maybe a warden survived the blow, but they're probably going to drown. They're not
The
actually-
idea of it is, if you imagine all of the possible origin stories from Dragon Age Origins, they all ended up with that character getting arrested.
Yes.
So that's as far as you guys will know in character if you happen to have been from the same area.
Do we need to bring any food of any kind?
Yes, you'll need to bring food for yourselves over the weekend because Huntley Wood is far away from any kind of shops.
If you have a car, you can. There are some corner shops in around Blythebridge that you can go to, but it's not really recommended.
There's a Tesco in Blythebridge that's 3 miles down. There's a Tesco in Blythebridge 2 miles down the road, and all local takeaways do deliver to Huntley Wood.
Thank you, Monster.
So we can get takeaway.
Takeaway, yes. You can get takeaway, and there are, like I say, Tesco corner, like you said, Tesco corner shops. But we do recommend if you want it to be cheaper as well.
Yeah.
Bring your own food. You can heat it there. We do have an oven. Try not to get anything too much. Like you want to get pretty much canned food, so it doesn't go off. That's probably a great idea.
If someone starts trying to do a Sunday roast, I will
10 bird roast.
you out.
And you want a lot of cold foods with you, like you want some fruit with you. You want to bring like just simple foods as well to keep your energy up. Lots of sugary foods you will want to bring as well, because you're going to be using a lot of energy and you're going to get tired very quickly.
You will also probably want to have at least one hot meal each day. You can get by on eating cold food, but you have at least a warm evening meal, even if it's just something just to get some heat back into your body after a long day in the cold, potentially.
Yes. I did share a thing recently on the group, which was that whole like D&D rations thing.
Everyone just pass the phone around inconspicuously.
That's what the guys rolled.
I was thinking that box is an emoji.
We haven't had any more questions, so feel free to. If any more pop up, we'll answer.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead, Bobby.
We picked our winner for the
Explain what they win again. So you can
Oh
see
yes,
it.
you'll
Come
be
into shot.
you'll be winning your very own beautiful lyrium dagger. Ooh,
It's a good prop.
Very
Yes.
good prop. We
it is a
cannot.
prop weapon.
It is
We
not.
cannot say it is LARP safe. Though it is a foam weapon, it is entirely to discretion of whatever event it is you set, though it will not be LARP safe for our event.
It's a little too hard.
Yeah.
So we don't want you bringing a Lyrian dagger to a refugee camp anyway.
No. The Templars will take it from you.
Out walking.
Just have to hide it and use it in a mage ritual.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, that's fine.
And you will also be winning a copy of Volume of Thedas, I believe it's called. I'm probably getting the words mixed up.
One of the books.
One of those.
One of the books.
Which talks about all of the behind-the-scenes lore and stuff to do with Dragon Age. And the winner of the book and the knife is... I've
Double
lost
check
the
the name.
thing.
Connor Gleason!
Hey!
Because I know him.
That's not why he won.
I'm kidding.
Why do you read out his
I
thing?
didn't roll his poppy face.
Read out his thing.
Through random number generator, we've found it's Connor Gleason. And apparently, if he was coming, he would play a panicked rookie who is way in over his head and was not prepared for any of this and just wants to go home. Doesn't matter race or class, as long as he was not prepared for any of this and just wants to go home and have a bath.
Poor guy.
Yay!
So basically, how everyone will probably feel by Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're just going to take that out of the way now.
Yeah.
Rebecca did follow up with a question. Cooking equipment.
Yeah. We don't allow cooking. We're not going to let cooking stoves on site.
No.
No. Because they have to be a specific area in Hollywood.
That's fine.
Is that only fire?
I thought
They
that was
allow
fires.
cooking
I was going to say
stoves.
cooking stoves.
They
That's
will look into it.
Sorry, I
We'll double
don't
check
get
that
any
one,
information.
but I'm fairly sure I know a lot of people who've used cooking stoves.
Where
at
does-
Huntley.
how-
And if
where's the
anything, I've
kitchen?
seen people throw the, like,
They
jacket
did say the
potatoes.
list!
The jacket potatoes in the tin foil into the fires before.
Right, and
That's
regardless,
fine.
I think when she talks about equipment, she's more pans and things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the kitchen. How
Um,
was the kitchen?
It might be best to bring your own, because obviously there's going to be a limited number. I believe Huntley has a stocked-ish kitchen, but you might want to bring your own just because there's going to be a lot of people potentially using it.
I'm going to say
and the
now,
monsters.
bring your own. Because
Yeah.
I'm not going to go running around hunting for the stuff in the kitchen because we will
Yeah.
get charged for it.
Yeah, it's also the same rules as the previous years, where if you're using the kitchen, you have to tidy up after
Yeah.
yourselves.
Tidy yourself.
We
What's
can't,
what you've done?
we can't feasibly turn around and be like, you don't get to use the kitchen anymore if you keep it messy, because otherwise no one will be able to eat. But yeah.
Yeah, so the
And
base
yes, the book is
cutlery,
World of Fate.
bowls, cutlery bowls, things like
Refugees
that.
roast marshmallows.
Well, if you have a little pokey stick marshmallow,
Yeah,
there will
so
be a
long-
fire.
So
You
long as
can.
the stick is icy.
That's fine. That's not that. I'm not that dramatic.
Right, yes. Yes, you may toast your marshmallows over the fire.
There is,
Try not to set the
but
marshmallows
there
on
is
fire.
only that one fire. There shouldn't be any more fires in the camp, please.
Yeah. If we set the fire, it's fine. If you set the fire, it's not
Yeah,
fine.
we'll see how many fire pits we've got access to and things like that. Because you can have a couple of fire pits if we have
Not
fire
in
pits.
Hollywood.
As long as it's raised.
Only you, as long as you've got a
No,
fire
no.
pit.
Sorry. That wood area. There is only one pit.
Yeah, no, but you can bring another pit. We can see how many
You can
pits we
raise
have.
if it's a.
Yeah, we can bring
non-fire,
another
so.
pit.
Basically, we will set the fires, you do not.
You can. We cannot use the elves as firewood.
I don't
So whatever you guys end up doing out of desperation to one another's characters is none of our concern.
However, if you do it OC, I will come now and kill you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rule zero of LARP. Don't
No,
fire.
rule zero of law, never be on fire.
Yeah.
So bad, Rob.
Yes.
Well, he wouldn't be on fire. He's saying he'll
I know that's the problem.
be fine.
Anything else on the list, or is that?
I'd probably just make a small cautionary note of, because we're playing the game from the point of the beginning of Origins.
Yes.
You guys have to keep in mind that there is none of the stuff that has come to light, like the red lyrium and everything like that, from the later games, is not common knowledge, is not currently being blasted from the rooftop so everyone knows about it, kind of thing. Just, the easiest thing to do is to go back and play Origins and
Yeah.
go from, like, the amount of knowledge you have from the first bit.
There's another thing to remember as well. While playing this, that what you're playing Thedas, there will be a lot of racism, and there will be a lot of bad things, and it may get too much, but we have OC areas for that.
And Becca, we will not be providing food. You
You
are
will
responsible for your own meals.
We did go over it briefly, but as you stepped away, it is, to reiterate, bring your own food.
Yes. Just like any other LARP, nearly.
But yes,
And there are some ones for catering, yes, but we will not be providing catering.
as Sammy was saying with regards to the themes and everything, because it is Dragon Age, which is a mature game and a grey morality game, there will be some points where you may feel a little bit uncomfortable or emotionally stressed. We do have a designated space to go to if you are feeling too stressed out by the game.
Yes.
So you will be able to find a safe space, as it were. So please do not feel overly overwhelmed or panicked at the idea of having to roleplay in situations
We will go more
scary.
into that, including like calls and stuff, so that people know that you need a time out, basically.
There will be a detailed description of all of the rules and how to play and stuff, won't there, Tom?
I thought I quit, again.
You've not quit, Tom. You will forever be stuck here.
If I quit on stream, that's
No,
it.
it doesn't. No.
Yes, Rob, ICOC blur is very bad.
Yes.
Yeah. If you think you cannot handle the situation, remove yourself from the situation as you can, and I'll come back to that point in a second. Remove yourself from the situation. There'll be things in game for doing it, and go to an OC area, take a few minutes, relax. Remember that everything is independent. If someone's being mean to you in character, it's not because they don't like you; they just don't like your character.
Yeah.
They do like their character, and their response to liking your character is to be annoying to you.
From a point of view of the Dragon Age racism and stuff like that, as far as it goes, take it from the standpoint of if they are being mean to your character, it is to your character. If it is a physical part of you, then that's crossed the line.
So
don't do that.
the racism thing that someone just brought up there. So if you're saying, you dirty knife here, you're talking to them about the fact that they're an elf and you're being racist about elves, or you're being racist to them because you're an elf and you think all humans are terrible, this is fine. If you're being racist to them on the grounds of colour of skin, height, gender, etc., actual real-world attributes, that's where you've gone not into okay things.
Yeah.
And you could be a Qunari, but yes, you will have issues.
It will be one of those where it'll be harder to play in terms of like people will be more against you, but it'll probably be more interesting to play.
And that calls back to the thing that I was saying about it being the Origins version of the game where like Qunari aren't absolutely everywhere in Thedas yet, so you will be looked at as if you are an alien kind of thing.
Just remember as well, if you are a Qunari, an actual Qunari, like from somewhere up there, you can't be like Sten, you have to have horns.
There will be phys requirements in the rules for each of the races.
Unless of course would you still allow elf Qunaris?
Qunari converts.
Yes.
That would just be backstory stuff.
But yeah,
but
they're saying they're a Qunari convert. They don't need horns.
They don't get the Qunari stats if they're a convert. They're not actually.
They are still an elf.
Yeah.
And then saying what's the IE boundary setting?
That's just saying that was their next one.
But there will be a whole stream where we just
we'll
here are the calls.
And every little bit will be written down, and we'll try to make it as clear as possible. Again, as you all know, if it's not clear, please, like you haven't done already, just email and we'll
Knife-eared improvised footstool is perfectly reasonable. I see racism.
I like that one. No, I'll use that one. Yes, there will be I am writing that.
We will write it everywhere. We will say it several times. We will make sure that we have it.
It'll probably also be said in the introduction on the day.
We will keep saying it, and if after the amount of times we've said it, people still don't get it, we may just have to say this isn't for them.
Yeah, and the stream will be recorded and put up on YouTube afterwards, so you can come back to this and rewatch it if you need to as well. And anyone who's not here will also be able to watch it.
Yeah. So don't worry, we will make sure that we say it again and again and again, and hopefully it will stick. We're mudslinging it.
With the next question with the coat, you want to prepare for that, so you want to think, in Dragon Age, what would they wear if it was raining?
Yeah, pretty much.
We don't allow OC gear, however, if it is a medical such as you weren't prepared. It's been raining all day. And you've gotten yourself ill. I'm not saying you will, but we're not monsters. Put a coat on, for goodness sake. But we will kind of ask you to go get dry, and then stay inside the cabins because it I hate to be that. It does break immersion to have, say, like a bright blue coat on if people are all being in character.
If anything, this is something to keep an eye out for the costume stream, because we'll go over like what sort of fabrics are good that are waterproof and warm, because there will be a few which are just they'll still get wet, but you won't get wet, and that's the important bit.
Yeah.
At worst, if you're struggling a little for finding a waterproof layer, a half-circle cloak made out of like thick wool isn't that hard to make, and will absorb almost any
You
amount
can
of
also
rain.
get waterproof sprays to put onto fabric as well to make sure that your wool cloak does reject a certain amount of water.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So that's not a worry. And the idea is that in LARP you'll be wearing so many layers. If you get
You won't
wet,
even
it'll be a
feel it.
bloody miracle.
You won't even feel it.
Just wear a hat.
Wear a hat. Yeah.
Wear several hats.
Big pointy wizard hat. With a white
Yeah, layers are great.
Next thing I wanted to talk about, I am still here, is the upcoming streams. I know what the next couple of streams are going to be, and that is the costume and camping one. Next month's, which will be at the last day of the month. Each one will always be at the last day of the month, on around about 6 o'clock, but we'll be announcing what time and stuff like that, or if we have to skip it and such on the Facebook page. The next one will be about camping and camping gear and the kind of stuff that you'll need to bring with you, and how to make an in-character camp and stuff like that. And yeah, and then the one following that will be costume creation and tips and tricks with making your costume look in character to whatever race or what have you, or nationality, because you don't have to be Ferelden.
No, you don't. So we're talking about influences and how to make them. Woo.
Yeah.
Just remember that wherever you came from, you have come to Ferelden, so you'll have some form of warmth.
Yes.
Always want, no matter how fancy.
Yeah, so those will be the next two. And if we haven't got any more questions that people need, we will be calling. That's all I've got on my list, unless there's anything else you guys want to talk about.
Not for the first one. We just want to make sure everyone is okay and
Everyone
excited.
Everyone hyped! Hype!
Again, just to know, if there is any sort of questions or problems, please email me. I don't care. It's fine.
Yeah, email. You
I
can
don't
put
mind you
comment,
emailing me. Tell me now.
But yeah, no.
Easier now than in 6 months.
But if you want, just go back through a quick recap just so that people are aware of what we've gone over.
Quick recap then.
Ta-da.
Hi, we are the staff of the college.
Are we?
Yes.
Yeah.
We are excited.
Yay!
We have currently
Wave your arms.
we've got the venue sorted, and we've got the insurance underway, and we're getting ready with all of our plot and rules development. And you guys have seen the venue. It's Huntley Wood. It's very nice. They've got a kitchen. They've got rooms. They've got inside spaces so that you don't have to be outdoors all the time. And we will be able to have fires, and it won't be too cold. There will be warm areas. Blah blah blah.
We'll turn the weather machine on and make sure
Yeah.
it's sunny.
Drop some dry ice into the sky.
Connor won the giveaway, and the stream schedule is that next month will be about camping gear and stuff like that, and the following month will be about costumes. And
Bring your own food.
And you guys asked a lot of questions, and we answered them.
Bring your own food.
Bring your own food.
Please bring your own food.
Please feed yourselves.
Please bring your own cooking equipment.
Yes. And accommodation. We have tents, which are going to be shared accommodation, but you guys are welcome to either hire your own private tents or bring your own tents. In character and out of character sleeping areas.
Yes, there are 2.
Yes.
Yes.
Did you want to tell them about how
that
works?
is one bit I forgot to mention. Again, it will all be written down though, so it won't be missed hopefully by the paper.
You'll all get a PDF guide which will have all of the details on.
Basically, IC area will be amongst the forest, by the cabins. Monsters cannot come into your tents, but they can bother you from the outside. There will be noises. You will be amongst this chaos. You can come out and you could get jumped by something. It could happen. OC area tents, nothing will go near you. There is nothing over there, and you can have as much OC clothing on as you want and whatever. That is where most of our monsters will be camping. So you're fine to be over there, but the monsters, when they're not being monsters, will be sleeping there.
And if you're in the out of character area, you'll need to bring your own tent because our tents will all be in the in character area.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, so we've got 2 questions there. I've got how many in total are expected? I think they mean how many people coming.
There is a limit of 50 people on the site. We have filled that limit, so there will be 50 people on the site,
Unless someone
including
gets
all
ill.
the staff.
And you can use the tent as an IC area. However, we'd suggest not fighting in them or
It'll be roleplay.
It'll be a very
yeah.
roleplay based.
Yeah.
And monsters will not enter tents. They will be respectful. They will just stand outside them.
Unless you invite them in.
That's
I
your
mean,
prerogative.
yeah.
Yeah.
If
If you invite a demon into your tent,
That's
that's not our business. What goes down in that tent?
There's a general rule I know that I've known for a long time, which I think that's something we'll be following, which is if your tent is closed, nobody, not even IC or regardless, will go in there unless it's your tent you're staying in. If the tent doors are open and you've basically got your whole head and everything out there, you're fair game. so you know, if you desperately don't want anyone to bother you, just make sure you shut
Generally, though, mostly just so that people don't hurt themselves. IC rules will basically just be basic talk roleplay. You won't generally get into a fight around the tents.
Yeah. We can probably add something to the format as well, based on Rob's point, as to grouping you up. So people who don't mind the tent being used for some roleplay bits, trying to group them together so that they can have the tent.
Yeah.
So they can have tent. You know, you don't get people who don't want to roleplay in their tent grouped in with people who want to roleplay. It can't be guaranteed, but we can try.
We'll look at that.
We'll look at it. It gets complicated when you start letting people choose things.
When is it too soon to have a character for exploring costume planned?
I'm asking for a friend.
You should be ready right now.
It would be too soon if you did it before we announced the
Yeah,
event.
I think that.
Yeah.
And
Now it's fine.
to be honest, whatever happens, if you present, all that's going to happen is you'll present us with the character story, and we will tell you if you need to change any parts of it, basically.
Which probably won't need to.
You're
What
welcome to
happened?
send that to any of the plot committees so that we can see it and be nosy
we will say that the more
and
vague,
tell you whether it's a bad idea or not.
it's like it'll be basic LARP rules as well. The more vague you give us, the more we can actually mess with you.
Yeah.
I mean, plan for you.
Yeah. And definitely not create NPCs that come
Rebecca,
over to you.
5-0. Definitely 5-0.
5-0, not 15.
T.
50.
And it's 4 people per tent.
4 people per tent.
How many 5 meter goals then?
Not everybody is getting those monsters. There's at least
20 monsters.
there's 20 monsters who will be OC, not IC. They will not be in their tents. Monsters will not be in your tents. So it's
That'd be a bit
not
weird
20.
anyway.
But your boss isn't wrong. But I'd say there are factors in there you're not fully aware of. That's all.
The people who bought tickets, so not the monsters, are getting tents. And there is also cabin space on top of those tents. So there is space. Don't worry. Don't panic. It's fine.
Okay. You will be space.
There's no such thing as too soon.
That is true as well. That is so true.
But no, if you
Will do. I mean, my friend will.
It is one of those where if you do have any ideas and you do want to run them by the plot team, you can. We're not going to let you sit on them, because you never know, it might influence how we net the plot. All I mean is that I'll drop them in a barrel or something.
For example,
Drop them in. Okay.
for example, if someone goes, I want to play an escaped circle mage that's run away from the circle, they can come up to us and be like, hey, I want to do this. Okay.
Yeah, that's easy enough.
But yeah, apart from that,
I think
are we
that'll
all
be it.
good? We good? We hype? We good?
I'm good.
You all in the group so you can get filthy keen together?
Pardon?
Filthy keen. Filthy.
You're not up to your lap slang, are you?
No. Well, I've not been to one, so I can't understand.
Okay.
It's fine. It's fine. We're covered. We're fine.
Good.